we right here now. You don't want to touch. You don't want to touch fire now.
Yeah, my shit been in my pocket.
Now, cuz.
Take your hand out your
They
pocket.
chimping out.
Nigga,
They chimping out.
We in the store now.
They chimping
You
out.
talking that shit. We was outside now.
They
We here
chimping
now.
out.
What's happening,
Look,
cuz?
they parked in the fire lane, chimping out.
I'm
They
right
mad.
here.
They
I'm
mad
right
because
here.
They mad because I'm holding my shit.
I'm right here.
You better get out my face.
I'm right here.
Get out my face, boy.
Hey, I'm
That's what I thought, nigger. That's what I thought, nigger. Dumbass nigger.
You know what the fuck it
He's
is,
chimping
cuz.
out.
I'm not with none of that.
Look at him, he's chimping out.
Wait till
I didn't brandish a goddamn thing, buddy.
You outside with
I didn't brandish a goddamn thing. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing.
No nigga, cuz. You don't up fire on no
haven't
nigga,
up
cuz.
nothing.
You don't up fire on no nigga,
Get out
cuz.
my face.
Fuck you talking about, bitch ass nigga. Fuck wrong with you, bitch ass nigga.
They chimping out.
Hello, gossipers. So that is Dalton Eatherly, but he goes by Chud the Builder. Now, he's a live streamer, and from that video there, what he does is he goes around black people using racial slurs, calling them stuff. You heard him say they're chimping around. So that's what he does to agitate black people, to get them to respond in a negative way. And this man makes money doing that. Now, they say, you know, he targets other minorities, but majority of the video you see on social media is him going up to black people and basically getting people upset, riled up with all his racist rants and things like that. Again, just to get a moment of chasing clout, right? So he went to this courthouse and he got into a confrontation with a man, right? Now they're not releasing the color or the identity of the man, but it got to the point where he took out a gun and shot the person. Now, during shooting at the person, it looks like he grazed himself with a bullet, right? So they called, he was arrested, and he made his appearance in court yesterday. He's now being charged with attempted I can't say the word. And, you know, he's one of those who thinks because there's freedom of speech that you can say anything. And the thing is, you can, but there's consequences. And not everyone is going to have you walk up to them, calling them racial slurs and everything like that. And you think not one person is going to react, right? Because that's how, again, he made his money. He makes his money, I should say. So he got arrested. They're charging him with attempted Now, the person he shot, we don't know the identity, nothing like that. We just know that it's not a life-threatening injury. So, you know, good. It's good to hear that. So he went in front of the judge, who, you know what? Let me show you the video. Take a look at this.
We're gonna have a bail.
I'm gonna set just a bond right now till we have our bail hearing. Then I'll let you make all the arguments. We can go through all the factors in the statute and see if that gets amended up or down. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to set initial bond at $1.25 million, based upon the fact of how many people were in the courtyard, we're here at the courthouse, and the seriousness of all these felonies.
So you heard what the judge said there, right? $1.25 million as a bond, right? Because he was in the courtyard where there were people around, right? And this is not like your regular streets or sidewalk where, of course, they're not going to charge that being a part of your charge. But because he was on what you would call like federal property, or, you know, a law-abiding property building, whatever. He was at the courthouse and people were there, you know, that's included in his charges. Now, when I heard this and it says 1.2, I said, I'm not quite sure if he'll get that amount to make bond, but what social media does now is when their favorite person or people who they follow, you know, racist or not, once they get in trouble, they go to GoFundMe. And, you know, they put up GoFundMe because, you know, now they're saying they're in jail, they can't work, they have their families to support, and things like this. And to me, they should not be able to do that, right? People should not be able to give money to someone who committed a crime, because that's what he did. And he should have thought about his family, his business, before he did this. And he thought that this would never catch up to him, because like I said, it's a bunch of videos, but now it has. And I guess it looked like he had nothing in place, because he thought because he was white and a man that nothing will happen to him. People will just see it and accept it. Now, when he posts these videos, nothing could be wrong, because I don't think he ever got into any physical contact with any of those people. And I don't think he wants to. He's this big redneck. Yes, I'm labeling him, with the mustache, and, just gives out that racist vibes. And I don't think he wanted to get into fight with anyone. Anyway, so I said it wouldn't be surprised, because we've seen where people who are racist, especially white people who are racist, and when they lose their job or lose this, or they're going to lose their home or cars, they go to social media, GoFundMe, and here comes their fellow white racists giving them money, which in return gives them the confidence to say, I can go and do this because I have people who will take care of me. Which again, they know, if anyone is making money for someone who's giving hate toward people, that should not be a part of what GoFundMe does, right? You know the consequences if you get caught, that it will affect your family, not just you. If it was you, fine, but anything you do, it reflects back on your family. So I found a social media person, and let's listen to what he has to say, and then we'll come back with an article.
This goes out to conservatives and Republicans who believe that racism doesn't exist in America, especially black conservatives like Nick Cannon, who swears that Democrats are the party of the plantation. We keep trying to tell you fools that the party switched ideologies, and this is more proof right here. Chud the Builder is a Trump-supporting white supremacist, and Trump-supporting white supremacists are the only ones supporting him. What Democrats do you know that have created a massive following from being as racist as possible like Chud the Builder? You can't, because no Democrats are doing no racist shit like that. Look at the comments from these Trump-supporting white supremacists. Pause it and read these comments from Chud the Builder's white supremacist donors. Chud the Builder doesn't contribute any positivity to America. All he does is stream himself being as racist and as evil as possible. He was charged with aggravated assault, attempted murder. He tried to steal from a restaurant. The dude is a straight piece of shit. And still, white supremacists are backing him 100%. He's in court crying white self-entitled tears, trying to play victim like he isn't a piece of shit. Fuck Chud the Builder and anybody who supports him. All you racist bastards can go to hell.
Shout out to King Kylie. So we're going to read this article now, because TMZ is reporting that his GoFundMe is making lots and lots of money. Over $90,000 in donation, less than 24 hours after the judge gave him that 1.2 million bond. And I guess people are doing it because, again, he has a family and business, which he should have thought about before it. So we're just going to read this quick article from TMZ. Chud the Builder's Give, Send, Go fundraising page shot up to more than 90,000 in donations less than 24 hours after he was involved in a shooting and then charged with attempted M. You can see the Give, Send, Go page is nearing its $100,000 goal, and TMZ can reveal more. 18,000 of donation poured in just Thursday morning alone. The donations range from $5 to as much as $2,000, with people wishing the streamer well. Notably, the Give, Send, Go page was set up by Chud himself, real name Dalton Eatherly, well before the shooting. He had asked fans for donation to help support his family after he was fired from his job for using racial slurs, which Chud described as edgy, harmless humor. He's calling it edgy, harmless humor. He noted his small business was also under attack by people spreading lies and even threatening his life over his past behavior. He stood up for his freedom of speech in this message to fans. It's unclear how much money was in the fund before he was involved in the altercation Wednesday. We told you all about the incident. The controversial creator got into a heated scuffle outside a courthouse in Tennessee and shots were fired. Chud and the other involved person, an unidentified man, sustained non-life-threatening injuries in the shooting. Chud claimed he fired shots in self-defense. But police weren't buying his story and took him into custody. He was charged with attempted employing a firearm doing a dangerous felony, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. So, yes, this is what the world is coming to, or what America is coming to. Do you know in certain countries, I think Brazil, if you are caught making racist comments or racist remarks, you can go to jail for that. You can get arrested. This is Brazil. Because, they have their own class system and race system, as far as, colorism. But to see, no wonder why everyone wants to run to America. Because America walks over the law. They don't care. They don't care that people will get harmed, injured, nothing like that. And you have, the American history with slavery and things like that. But it's like people now are so emboldened to come out and not hide in the dark anymore because they see it's acceptable. It is acceptable. I'm going to say it. It's acceptable now for you to make racist remarks and, anything like that. But to see how much people is rallying around him. And even if you call out those people, they're going to say, well, he has a wife. He has kids. They need support. No, go donate to some other cause. Like I said, he was not thinking about his family when he went around doing all this. Now, just reading the article, I did not know he lost his business, which is good. Because you can't go around calling people the M word and the N word and making sounds and, I've said it before. Black people, we are the most hated race in this world. And I'm like, where do these other countries get this idea that we're such bad people? Especially with countries that Black people aren't predominantly in. Like you would say India, China, the Middle East. How did they come to not liking Black people? It had to be something they seen or thought. It all has to do with colonialism, but how did it get to those countries for them to say, well, if America, England, Canada says it, then we're gonna, listen. If you get what I'm saying. Gossipers, your thoughts.